Hello there, welcome to my reaction to Isekai is Great, actually, by Gigak. Um, I haven't seen his video since, like the first video I watched that wasn't connected in any way to anybody else was the VTuber one, and I haven't seen any video of his since that time. I need to plug my headphones. Um, and this is his news video. I wanted to do a reaction to a different one, but I thought Isekai is good. I like Isekais. I wouldn't call myself an Isekai man as he does, but I enjoy my Isekais. Like, I like Konosuba, Overlord. Wanna watch Mishaku Tensei. Is there anything else I've seen from Isekai? Okay. Sao had a good concept in the beginning, but then half of the first season was good, and then fell apart. But I enjoy the idea of an Isekai. I like him. That time I recounted there's a slime. For fuck's sake, how could I forget? It's a great show. Anyway, I like Isekai. I want to hear this because a lot of people don't like Isekai. I know that, but I want to check this out anyway. So if you want to help out the channel, check the links in the description below, or like or subscribe. That also helps. Let's begin.
Art, I don't want to alarm you. Gigak is talking about Isekai again.
In the beginning, there was darkness, and then God said, boom, let there be light. So he created Sword Art Online. This happened in the prehistoric era of 2012. By now, we all know the origin story of the modern isekai genre and how it's
ReZero seems fun, but
it's been almost
I've seen like 3 or 4 episodes of ReZero. I was watching with a friend and we got sidetracked and watched something else, and I just never came back to it.
A decade since the initial isekai boom.
That
So
is
you'd think
true.
after all this time, audiences would finally start to get bored, and yet somehow we don't seem to be getting less, we seem to be getting more. So that begs
'Cause
the
it's
question,
good.
if you're not watching isekai, and you're not watching isekai, and you're not watching isekai,
I
then
do.
who's watching all the isekai? It's me.
You,
I watched
yeah.
a lot of isekai last year, and I know I've played my part in giving the genre the image that it has, but I honestly think that the genre might be on the path
There was Devil as a part-timer. Is that an Isekai? I haven't seen it, so I don't have no idea. I just heard it's very
to a
good.
brighter
Anyway.
future. Don't mind me, just taking my daily dose of copium. I think 2021 was one of the strongest years for isekai for like possibly the history of isekai. And like,
Really?
I thought we all agreed that the genre was already stale like 5 years ago. So today I thought I'd break down just what's going on with
The
isekai
slime
today,
overlord,
why I think it's
so
here
good.
to stay, and the number one thing
It's still
I
my
still
favorite, but for
absolutely
different
hate
reasons.
about the genre.
Spoiler alert, it's not what you think it is.
Yeah, that was enough clickbait in that intro, right? But before we get to that, a quick word from our sponsor. Hey there.
Oh.
Do you like awesome stuff? Of course you do. You watch Isekai. Every one of us needs more awesome stuff. Well, thankfully today's episode is sponsored by Bespoke Post. Bespoke Post is a monthly membership club delivering awesome boxes of top shelf good from under the radar brands that's free to join. They do a bunch of different boxes from outdoor gear, barware, kitchen goods, clothing, and so many other cool stuff. If you're looking for a new casual hobby or just something new to dip your toes into, then this is the perfect service for you. Like, just look at the stuff they sent me. From the Terra box, I got an absolute giga
Holy
jack
hell.
knife. I can't wait to use this next time we go camping or outdoors. From their smoked box, we got a smoked cocktail infusion kit, and I already know I'm gonna have a lot of fun making cocktails with these. But my absolute favorite thing they've sent me this month
Is that a creme brulee
this weekender
gun?
bag, which is just the perfect casual bag to pack up all your essential items you need for a weekend trip. Which is no
Duffel
joke,
bag.
actually perfect for me because I'm literally about to go on a trip, so I'm going to be using this almost immediately. It really couldn't have come at a better time, and yeah, I'm already packed and ready to go. Every box has around $70 in retail value, but only costs $49. And the best thing is, everything is customizable. You can take a quiz to choose the type of products that would suit you, and every month you'll get a preview of the box. And if you don't like what you see, you can just swap it for a different box or just skip the month entirely free of charge. Yes,
Oh, that's
you
a
only
bug.
pay for what you want. So, what are you waiting for?
I started using POG ironically, and now it came into my mind that I'm not using it ironically anymore. I hate myself more. That makes me want to kill myself faster. That's great. That's a good system that you can skip a month. I don't think any subscription things do that.
You can just go to
Like loot box or something.
Giguk20. Thank you to Bespoke Post for
Boxu,
sponsoring this
I don't
video.
know.
Alright, weebs,
back to Isekai. I swear to God, this isn't Stockholm Syndrome the video, alright? It's no secret that
Shield
Isekai
Hero
doesn't really
is
have
an
the best
Isekai,
reputation among anime fans,
but I haven't seen
and
it.
I absolutely see why. The same bland, overpowered protagonist being transported or reincarnated or summoned to that same RPG world with the same harem living the same self-insert power fantasy. The Isekai genre definitely went through an extended phase where we got some shit. Like, a lot of shit. Like, uh-oh, stinky, poopy.
Yeah, having fun with that, Garn?
Sure, there were outliers that stood out, but a lot of us
Gaunt.
got bored of the scene very, very, very quickly. And if you ever wondered why it was ever like this, then you have one place to blame. Shousetsu Naro. This is a site where users can post their own web novels for others to read, kind of like the YouTube of light novels. ReZero, Slime, Soma Spider, Overlord, Mushoku Tensei, Shield Hero, Konosuba. If there's an isekai, big or small, that's come out in the last 10 years, it's probably come from here. So when I'm talking about modern isekai, what I'm really referring to is Naroke, or stories that have come from this one site. And if you look at the stories that have been adapted from here, you'll basically see how much it's had an effect on the modern isekai culture. If you've ever wondered why a lot of modern light novel adaptations feel so fucking homogenous, isekai or not, it's probably because the source material originated from here. And if I'm allowed to put my tinfoil hat on for a moment and speculate based on other sites with user-generated content, all of this kind of makes sense. Remember when Casey Neistat started posting and then every YouTuber vlog needed to be a Casey Neistat style video? Or when Mr. Beast blew up and then everyone to this day is still trying to market their videos like a cheap copy of Mr. Beast? Well, imagine the same kind of influence between creators being permeated through an entire generation of web novel authors on a single site, and suddenly you understand why a lot of isekai and fantasy stories feel like they are copying from each other. Why do light novel titles sound so fucking dumb? Well, it's because they are literally clickbait to get users to click on their story, like
I guess so,
videos. Except imagine if our YouTube videos get turned into professionally published works and you're stuck with titles like I got addicted to VTubers and regret everything. Honestly, that's not a bad title for a light novel. Content creators will naturally gravitate towards the type of content they see doing well no matter what platform they're on. It's something we see with any site. YouTube, TikTok, Twitch. Does that excuse the amount of mediocrity that's come from there? No, but it does give a bit of an insight into why so many...
If you don't want mediocrity on Twitch, check out my streams. Who am I fucking lying to?
Isekai were made and sets the stage for the state of the genre today. Recently, it really feels like the isekai anime being adapted has finally started to find its own footing, and we're moving past the point where shows
No Game No
were
Life is
defined
also an
by a
isekai, right?
single cheap gimmick. Well, we're in another word, except
haven't
this
seen
guy
it
has a
also.
smartphone, and this guy
Trying
has
to
a
remember
mum,
things.
and this guy has a vibrator. Instead, more often, I think we're
What?
seeing actual interesting concepts that get explored in more depth, like people are starting to realize that audiences want more than just the same power fantasy show with some dumb fuck gimmick. Slime Season 2 took its premise and then fully leaned into becoming a civilization type city builder where Ripley actually encounters
Slime is
problems
amazing.
you can't just solve with force, makes hard decisions, makes
Slime and
mistakes,
Overlord,
then
I
fully
cannot
suffers the
recommend
consequence
enough.
of it. The world's finest assassin said, let's isekai John Wick. If you take someone who's already skilled and powerful in the real world, how would he use his skills and knowledge to break the systems presented in the fantasy world? What happens when a goddess isekais more than one person to get the job done? What will the majority of people do? Realist Hero takes a really interesting look at what happens if we take modern psychology and apply it to governing a medieval fantasy setting. Machiavellianism, game theory. Eventually in the manga, it gets to the point where we're using examples from the Cold War, capitalism, fighting communism. The main character takes lessons we've learned from our own history and applies what has historically worked for us in another world. These are just some of the interesting ideas I came across.
That is an interesting idea.
And many of them, aside
That's
from
exactly
the
what I
basic
wanted to
premise
say.
and setting, explored totally different subjects and ideas. Like now, just because you see several isekai airing in a single season, that's no indicator that the shows will actually have anything in common with each other. Mushoku Tensei, ReZero, My Next Life as a Villainess, Sentence of a Bookworm, Restaurant in Another World. These are all isekai set in your traditional fantasy world that are completely independent of each other in plot, tone, characters, and appeal. I've been killing...
Isekai became a normal genre. If you watch a battle shonen kind of show, Naruto, One Piece, they have similarities, as any other things do, but they're completely independent. It's not, there's nothing... They have similarities, but most of it, 99% maybe even, is not similar at all, besides of the fucking genre. And Isekai became the same thing, it seems. Again, I haven't seen a lot of Isekai, the only ones I mentioned, and that's it. But I do enjoy the genre.
Slimes for 300 years has more in common with Dragon Maid than it does with the other isekai with slime in the title. Is there still a lot of garbage being made? Yes, but it's no
That's
longer
for
as
every
relevant
genre.
to look at a new show and say, it's not like your typical isekai, because a lot of isekai are no longer like your typical isekai. I don't know if this is sounding like massive isekai copium right now, so I just want to go on a little tangent to look at what I think might be a similar case that happened for gaming. The shooter genre. I remember when these first exploded onto the scene and you couldn't get away from them. Halo revolutionized console shooters, setting the blueprint that many modern shooters still
Never
use
played
to this
Halo
day.
game.
Halo 2 set the stage for online gaming, only for Call of Duty 4 to skyrocket shooters into the mainstream, and from there on, there was no turning back. Your friends started playing shooters, your brothers and sisters and your cousins started playing shooters. Heck, I think I even caught a glimpse of your grandma playing Search and Destroy on Terminal once. Shooters were absolutely inescapable, and there was a point where I swear
Team Fortress
every
music.
big game release
There it
was a
is.
shooter or had some kind of fucking shooter mechanics in it. Shooter after shooter after shooter after shooter. It was like we were getting the same copy and paste game from every big company trying to cash in on a quick buck. Oversaturation was a real thing and gamers were getting visibly fatigued by them all. So, 20 years later, what do we have to show for it? Well, Halo's got a grapple hook now. As tired as we got of shooters, they never really went anywhere, but instead carved out its own corner in the industry that is still consistent to this day. Did we get another COD 4 or Halo Combat Evolved? No, but what we did get was small tweaks and innovations that slowly meant that different shooters could find their own niche. You want
It's kind of, instead of becoming every shooter being its own thing, it kind of became like a shooter additional with something else. A shooter and a battle royale. A shooter and a hotel tycoon, which is Fortnite. A shooter and an RPG elements like Destinies, or a shooter and MOBA. Maybe not MOBA exactly, but I'm not sure what to call it. Stuff like Valorant, maybe Overwatch. Team Fortress kind of fits in there with the kind of abilities. It's interesting. It's evolution of content, I guess. It's very nice.
something more on a grand scale of battles with vehicles? Well,
Everyone
play
can find
Battlefield.
something.
Want something more team-based and tactical? Well, Counter-Strike and Rainbow Six is a thing. Colorful abilities? How about Overwatch? Battle Royale 2? Well, good thing Apex exists. Oh, you just want to see your childhood ruined? Well, there's still Fortnite. I don't know why Itachi gets so much flack for murdering the Uchiha clan, where Sasuke right here is quite clearly murdering their entire legacy. The term shooter in the first place is such a broad term for a game where you point at something, then click a button for that object to commit die. And I think this could be what Isekai is turning into for anime. Isekai could just become a staple of anime the same way that high school is. There are hundreds, if not thousands of anime shows set in high school, but that doesn't mean that any two shows are going to have anything in common with each other. If anything,
And
I
there are
just
high
wish
school
these
isekai
put in
shows.
a little bit more effort to at least
I
look
think.
more distinct. You look at some genres in anime and you're like, damn,
Gurren
all
Lagann.
these have such distinct style and feeling to them. And then you look
Gundam?
at Isekai and you're like,
I think.
They're the same picture.
it's like every show is still using the same. Look at Isekai and you're like,
Can I pinpoint anything? I think that's the third one is Kirito and the fourth one from the Shield Hero, because like of the hair, and I haven't seen anything else.
They're the same picture.
it's like every show is still using the same
Can't
two
even
character
guess.
designers with the same fucking color palette that just melds into one conglomeration of generic mess.
Was
that
that
makes it
Kirito?
impossible to discern any
Also?
of these shows at just a
From like a
glance. But you know what?
civilization or whatever.
Baby steps. At this point, Isekai is just comfort food for me. Sometimes it is still the same copy and paste show. Yes, there is still a lot of trash out there, but more often now you'll find these neat little ideas packaged into the same familiar formula you've seen that will make you take a step back and think, huh, that was actually pretty damn fun. I'm not saying Isekai suddenly turned over a new leaf, but what I'm saying is in 2021, it didn't feel as cheap anymore, and there was more variety than ever for a genre that is apparently all the same. I do think it still has one massive problem, but it's just not the one everyone seems to complain about. Because to me, the one biggest thing I wish would change is that there needs to be an isekai that has an ending. In almost a decade of the genre, I don't think I've seen a single one come to a conclusion,
Yeah.
and it's kind of getting to me. Pretty much the only ones I
Manga
can
might
think of are
be.
shows that came before the modern boom. All of them, even
Animes
the so-called
aren't
good
really.
ones, don't feel like they've gotten anywhere close to being finished. No Game No Life, more like No Season 2 No More. Overlord, yeah. Overlord of half a fucking kingdom. Rising of the Shield Hero, yeah, this is more like the
You shut your mouth about Overlord, Mr. Gigak. Season 4 is coming out this year, I think. Might be moved to the next year, but it's coming out. It's not gonna end there, but it's on its way. And he's an overlord of the kingdom of, like, he's an overlord of his castle. And more if you keep watching the show, that I don't want to spoil
The
anything.
slight incline of the shield hero. Re-zero? More like zero chance of ever seeing this end. Okay, that was awful. My problem with modern isekai isn't that they are bad. It's that they're so
Did
damn
manga end
disposable.
for
You start
ReZero?
with one isekai, have a bit of fun, and then just move on to the next one, and then forget about all of them. It feels like a lot of the times writers come in with a single interesting idea, explore it, and then have no idea where to go, so the readers lose interest or the writer just stops. I've seen so many heroes journeying to take on a demon lord, and not a single one has ever reached his doorstep. There doesn't
Not
feel
yet.
like there's anything close to a complete story, and instead of focusing on finishing one, it feels like the focus for anime is making 6 more. And because of this, nothing has any staying power. We don't see any stories reach their maturity, and because of this,
The thing is that if a show like Bleach, which is a good show, I'm not shitting on it, I love Bleach, but a show that got cancelled 10 years ago, 9 or 10 years ago, right? Is coming back and it's gonna end, everything fucking has a chance to get finished. Unless something happens like with Berserk. But it's about manga more. Never, there was never an anime good enough anime. I guess 90s one. I want Berserk get a good anime adaptation, please. UFO table. UFO table, please. They're not gonna watch my fucking video. But you did. Demon Slayer season 2 is the best animated show I've ever seen. Can you please put some of that, like, some droplets on Berserk? This would be great. Anyway.
becomes so vapid. Mushoku Tensei, ReZero, Overlord. It's series
Maybe
like these where
Berserk
you
is
see the
not
foundations
as
being
much
laid
about
for a full-blown tale.
fights.
There is depth, there is characters, there's a
Still
thought-out
would-
world
I'd
behind
love
it.
it.
It feels like these shows are actually trying to tell a full story rather than coming in with a few interesting ideas and fucking off. ReZero just spent an entire fucking season in one place so they could say, hey, let's have Subaru stop dying so cheaply, let's make Amelia an actual character. And while a lot of people may
Oh,
have found the slow
okay.
progression boring, I respect the fact that I had the confidence to spend the time to really flesh out sides of these characters we never got to see in season 1. And Mushoku Tensei is, well, you already know how I feel about Mushoku Tensei. If there was a show that could lead the charge,
I haven't
for
seen
all
the video,
changes
but
I
the title
wanted
is
to see,
enough.
this could be it. Because
And I
unlike
wanna
most
watch
other
it.
isekai, the source
If I'm gonna
material
watch
is
it.
already done. Yes, it has
I wanna
a
be as
fucking
blind as
ending.
possible.
That's why I hope to God that these types of shows will get the chance to fully follow through with the story
Same.
they want to tell.
Yeah.
Like your Attack on Titans, My Hero Academias, and Demon Slayers, they get the seasons. All the seasons they rightfully deserve.
Yes.
Because I don't feel like we're even close to reaching the peaks these stories could tell. And I think it's only when we do get the chance to see some of these peaks that Isekai can start being taken more seriously. I think this is the one thing single-handedly stopping Isekai from eating at the big boys table, where we don't have to feel like pointing at these shows we like and say, no guys, this is a good show for an Isekai, and instead just saying, no guys, this is just a good show.
Yes.
In conclusion, Isekai will never die. It just gets reincarnated into another Hey guys, hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you very much this month too.
What name you gonna change? You Gigak. You're not Anime Zone anymore, is it? Maybe the link to the channel is still Anime Zone? I don't know.
Alpha Sigma, Basil, Dysfunctional Degenerates, Elifal, Ivido, Jeff, Lavados, Manapla, Pain Patchett, Pony Stark, Walto, and everyone else, my patron, for helping to support me this month and making this video possible.
Thank you people on my Patreon like Serega Molodets and Nitroxen. And that's it. Sponsoring the for giving me some money.
Okay guys, that was it. That was my yearly Isekai video. I know you're bored of me talking about Isekai, but sometimes I just need to get out of my system, okay? I just need to talk about Isekai every once in a while, okay? You know that by now, right? I really hope this doesn't become a poorly aged thing and Isekai ends up sucking in 2022. So touch wood that Isekai is going to continue.
Is there Konosuba? Is there anything with it in this year? I don't know. But there's a slime movie, right? Coming out this year? Or is it next year? Fuck. I think it's this year. So that should be good. Overlord might be this year too, so continuation is there.
Continue being good
Hopefully.
through 2022 and beyond. But if you want to see a more concrete opinion on every isekai I watched in 2021, and some of them that I also even didn't end up watching, then I recently made a tier list on every single isekai and fantasy show that
I wanted
came
to watch
out
that
in
as well.
2021, and you can check that out on my second channel right now. Yes, if you didn't know,
Wait, what
I'm
was it?
21, and you can check
I'll be out tomorrow. My flight home got cancelled because of a snowstorm. Oh.
that out on my second channel right now. Yes, if you
It'll
didn't
be
know,
out,
I
not
have
I'll be
a
out,
second
sorry.
channel. So God forbid, if you want to hear about me talking about isekai even fucking more, you can check out the link in the
I kinda
description.
like
I'll
Garnt
put
with a
a link to the
beard.
video there. Anyway, though, that's it from me today. I won't keep you here too
Very
long.
suits his
I've been
bags
Giga,
under
and
the
I will
eyes.
see you all next time.
But yeah, it's a great video. I enjoy Giga's content a lot. So if you want more, I'll do more. And the one I wanted to do when I saw this was the solo leveling. Because I recently, well, about a month ago, I finished the manhwa for it. And I enjoyed it a lot, except for the ending. I didn't really like, it's kind of mediocre. But the manhwa itself was very, very enjoyable. And I want to read something else. Just kind of annoying to read, but maybe it's just the service I was using. Either way, it was very good. So I want to watch a video on that, but I ended up watching a video of this, and I still enjoyed it. And I'm glad I watched this. I don't know if you are. I will see, and you can tell me. Either way, thank you, anybody who watched this. I appreciate it a lot, and I hope to see you next time. Goodbye. Have a great life, because one of us has to.